So we just finished reading the first 3 volumes of Komi Can't Communicate.
Let's talk about it.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Blue Tempest, and welcome to another episode of the 3-volume rule. If you guys are new to my channel and don't know what the 3-volume rule is, it's basically a saying in the manga community that I personally 100% stand behind, where if you're not hooked on a series by the end of volume 3, then you need to drop it. So for today's episode, I am joined by my lovely girlfriend.
Hi.
And we are going to be giving our thoughts on the first 3 volumes of Komi Can't Communicate. So if you guys don't know about this series, it is a slice of life series about our main character, Komi, who has difficulty with communicating, obviously from the title. And the story is told through our main character, Tadano, who meets Komi, and together they set a goal for Komi to make 100 friends. So yeah, this series is pretty popular right now. There's a lot of hype surrounding it, and it is getting an anime adaptation pretty soon. So if you guys did watch my video where I actually shopped for manga for my girlfriend, I did pick up the first 2 volumes, and then later on she did pick up volume 3, and we both read it to do this video for you guys. So to start off on our thoughts on Komi Can't Communicate, I do want to talk a little bit about the artwork and kind of just give our general thoughts on that. So yeah, what did you think about the art in Komi Can't Communicate?
Yeah, so I really like how it's a comic book style and it has these really clean panels with a border around it. It makes the edges of the volumes really pretty and white and clean.
Yeah, so this manga is kind of set has like a 4-panel kind of look to it, which is pretty unique. It looks really clean, and it does have like a bit of a different reading experience when you're actually reading it compared to other manga series. So yeah, I do think it kind of fits the vibe of Komi with how short the chapters are and kind of episodic it is.
Yeah, it's very easy to follow.
Yeah, like I definitely feel like this could be a series that you don't really binge or anything like that. You can pick up a volume here and there, pick up a couple chapters and read, and it is easy to get into even if you haven't read it in a while. So it is a pretty unique aspect when it comes to reading it. And then as far as the art itself, it has a very cartoonish kind of art style to it. Sometimes there's a lot of detail to the art, and then sometimes our main character Komi gets kind of drawn in this like chibi look.
I really do like that part. It's very cute.
Yeah, so I think the art really works for this series in that aspect. It's nothing too crazy, nothing I haven't seen before, but
definitely goes along with the wholesomeness of the story.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said before, Komi Can't Communicate is actually a story about our main character Komi and also Tadano, who actually we see the story through Tadano's eyes most of the time, and he's kind of just your stereotypical, very normal main character.
I think that's exactly how he introduces himself. Just a normal high school guy.
Yeah. But yeah, the whole story of Komi Can't Communicate is that Komi has a communication disorder. And so with that, she has trouble talking to people and making friends. And so she does make her first friend with Tadano, and he sets a goal for her to make 100 friends. So we do see that in like the first 1 and 2 volumes, you see her kind of meet some new friends. And what I do like about it is that it seems like a concept that might get old as it goes on, but when reading volume 3, it actually isn't like a new friend of the week type scenario. There is room for each of the friends that she makes to have their own time in the spotlight with the story.
That's definitely something I was getting tired of by the end of the 2nd volume, was it felt like it was just a lot of meeting new characters and trying to get to know them. And then in the 3rd volume, I really like that she kind of just gets to sit with those characters and do things with them and like be in situations with them. So I think, yeah, that definitely it gets better by volume 3.
Yeah. So to get a little bit deeper into our thoughts on this series, yeah, I did want to ask you what you felt and kind of explain your, you know, process with reading this and yeah, just your overall thoughts. Because I think I can speak on behalf of both of us. We were both a little mixed on this series.
Yeah, mixed feelings for sure. I think my expectations going into the series was way different than how the experience of reading it was. I grew up like kind of a quiet person, had a hard time making friends in school, so I was kind of hoping that Komi would be a relatable character for me. But I kind of didn't end up feeling like Komi was that relatable, especially since a lot of her emotions and stuff gets told kind of through the eyes of the main character. I just wish that she had felt more relatable to me, and I think a part of that is that they're constantly talking about how pretty she is, how gorgeous she is, and a lot of like people at her school just think she's like a mysterious, quiet, beautiful girl. And she's definitely put up on a pedestal for a lot of the series, even by like the main character and her friends are constantly talking about like how cute she is.
Yeah, I see where it's coming from. It's very shonen when it comes to like the way that Komi is portrayed, the way that other characters see her, and also the main character. But
yeah, I think it's like very much Komi is like through the male gaze. And even in like aspects where they're talking about her disorder, I feel like sometimes it's a little bit romanticized. Even the disorder itself is sometimes portrayed as cute because she's like comes across very childlike, who like is very innocent. Even when she does get a chance to communicate, she never really seems like she has like any really strong opinions about anything or like interests. She kind of just goes along with the characters and her friends. And yeah, I feel like sometimes it feels like she is an object for the plot instead of like a deep character that is like someone that you can relate to.
Yeah, so for 3 volumes of a series that is titled, like it literally has communicate in the title, so you would think that, you know, it is supposed to have some sort of message about people with communication disorders. And it doesn't really do that, like with what you said about how they don't really go into like what disorder she even has.
That is a main issue for me, is that they keep talking about this disorder and then they never really specify what it is. And like for me, I was like, I like can't tell if she's just shy, does she have a stuttering problem, like does she get nervous? Like I don't really understand what the disorder is. They never explain it, so it's hard to get into her mindset when she's like having trouble communicating. And they keep talking about how they want to cure her disorder for her, which I don't know if that's like correct. Like, can you cure a disorder? Is it just something you like learn to live with? Like they don't really go into any explanation of that, which is just like, I don't know, is that good representation for people with disorders? Like, I don't really know. Yeah,
like I can see why some people do really, really enjoy the series, because it is wholesome. It is, you know, it has some very lighthearted moments. And I do want to say that I don't hate this series. No. I don't think it's bad at all. If you enjoy the series, then I like totally see why you do. Because like I said, I did enjoy some aspects of it. I just thought it was weird that for a series that is about communication disorders, or someone with a communication disorder, it was handled a little weird.
Yeah.
And not only that, but there are some other things that were handled kind of weird as well.
So they have a non-binary character, or they could be transgender, I don't know, they don't really specify, but it was just kind of handled awkwardly. Like, I don't think the representation was offensive necessarily, just kind of like tone deaf. I don't know. I feel like for how recent the series is, it's kind of like there should be no excuses for having a character like that be like the butt of a joke, centered around their like gender.
Yeah. So it would be one thing if it was like written in the 90s or something.
Yeah. I mean, some of my favorite series like Maid Sama and Fruits Basket, they Host Club, they have like iffy representation of characters like that, but for a series that's so recent, I just feel like there's no excuse for like why it's still like handled like that. But they do have a lesbian character that I think is handled really well, and in the way that it's just, they just are gay and they don't really make a big deal of it, they don't really make a joke out of it, it's just like, they don't even really like explain it that much, it's just like, it is what it is, and you roll with it, which I think is like, I like that.
Yeah, so it is weird that like, you have one character who is like, you know, the butt of a joke with, you know, their identity, and then there's another character where it's not even a big deal at all.
Yeah.
So yeah,
but
it is
I will
weird.
say I really do like the non-binary character. They're one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just in that introduction of their character, it's a little weird.
Yeah, and even up until volume 3, there's still jokes made and
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, I do also want to talk a little bit on my thoughts on Tadano as a character. Honestly, he is one of the most uninteresting main characters that I have seen in a manga. He's pretty much kind of supposed to be maybe a character you're supposed to insert yourself onto with, you know, viewing Komi and everything. But yeah, he really has no character, honestly.
No, he doesn't add much to the story compared to all of the other characters.
Yeah, he's kind of just there, and I can see that they're trying to set up a little bit of a romance thing with him and Komi, and yeah, I'm just not invested in that whatsoever, at least from the first 3 volumes. I do know that later on apparently gets a little bit more romantic. I don't know how that all plays out, but yeah, from the first 3 volumes, I have no reason to be invested in them as a couple, as well as just him as a character. A lot of times with these kind of like shonen and seinen romantic comedy type of series, a lot of times you're not really reading it for the main character. A good example of that is Rent a Girlfriend for me. Like, the main character is not really the best character, but at least he is more interesting than Tadano. Tadano is literally just like as interesting as a like piece of bread, you know what I mean? Like,
there's not much to him.
Yeah, he's literally not much to him at all. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that as well.
Yeah.
So when reading it, it's like, well, I don't know, you know?
That is like the main wish that I had was I wish this was told from Komi's point of view. So you could get her inside like thoughts and her outside like interactions, and I just feel like there's no reason for Tadano to be there.
Yeah.
But
It's just another reason to add on to why, you know, my feelings are really mixed. Because like I said, when you're reading it, it is like still nice sometimes. It's a very wholesome read, and it's lighthearted, and I don't think it's supposed to be as deep as, you know, maybe we're making it out to be.
I think we're making it a little deeper than it needs to be, but I feel like it adds up to reasons why I just couldn't get as invested as I hoped. Also, by the end of the 3 volumes, I still felt like there wasn't much of an overarching plot happening. It's like very episodic, which is like not bad. I like series that are episodic, but I just felt like there was like nothing to keep me going to buy the next volume, and there's a lot of volumes out and it's ongoing, so I just didn't feel like there's anything to hook me. And also the episodic aspect of it kind of felt like they were just inventing different situations to put Komi in to make her look cute, or like romanticize her, or like romanticize her through the eyes of Tadano. It was just like different situations, which are cute and they're wholesome, and I think that's like a big draw for a lot of people. But yeah, I just felt like at the end of those 3 volumes there was like no conflict, no drama, no like anything that was really like getting me invested in the story as a whole.
Yeah, and maybe like it's not really supposed to have drama. Maybe it's not supposed to have conflict. You know, I can see, you know, the merit in just it being a wholesome read.
Yeah.
But I think just, you know, for me personally, it just wasn't interesting enough to keep my attention to keep going with it. And I think you could agree with that as well.
Yeah, because there's like plenty of wholesome series that I feel like has conflict and drama, and they are wholesome, but it also keeps you interested.
Yeah, like another series that we love is like Kaguya-sama. That is, you know, kind of an episodic in nature series, but it's, you know, it keeps you invested, you know, it keeps you entertained.
Yeah, all the characters are solid. There are overarching like plots and things that you are invested in. So
yeah, and another thing with this manga, like for example, like I said, I don't want to compare too much, but with other series, you know, like Kaguya-sama, like it's genuinely funny in Kaguya-sama.
Yes.
I think Komi Can't Communicate. It tries comedy. It tries to be funny,
Yeah.
but I don't think it really.
I'm really interested to see the anime because I think maybe some of those jokes and like that type of humor would read better, like when they're in action. But yeah, I felt like I just didn't vibe with the type of humor it was, and it never really made me like laugh. Even though I feel like the main draw of it is like if it's not a romantic series, I feel like it's supposed to be a comedy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. So I'm interested to see like how the anime feels.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, what Komi is, it's trying to be just a very wholesome slice of life, you know, where you see Komi and Tadano and these other characters, you know, just do different things. Like you see in the third volume, they go to the pool and then they go to a festival or like a summer festival. And yeah, it's just different situations that they're in and kind of just, yeah, like a very true slice of life. But it's also a slice of life where not really a lot of interesting stuff happens.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't like want to hate on anyone who likes this series because I would recommend it for someone who's looking for something just like very wholesome, and I think, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. And yeah, when it comes to the series, like I definitely am not invested enough to keep collecting it. If it for some reason it was on the Shonen Jump app where I could read it easily digitally without having to pay much, like I would totally check it out on, you know, a digital app like that. But it's not on the Shonen Jump app, so I think with this, yeah, I think it's definitely something that I might just wait for the anime for and watch that and see, you know, if it gets any better from the point that volume 3 kind of finishes off at. So, and lastly, we do want to kind of give our thoughts and compare Komi Can't Communicate to another series that handles that we think handles the whole communication disorder thing a little bit better. So yeah, if you want to talk about that.
So another manga that handles communication disorders is Shino Can't Say Her Name.
Yeah, this is actually by Shuzo Oshimi. So if you guys are fans of my channel, then you guys know that I'm a big Oshimi fan. So
yeah, and this is just a one-shot manga, and the main character has a stutter. And compared to how it's dealt with Komi and how it's dealt with Shino, they kind of off the bat explain what it is that Shino has trouble saying. And I think like throughout the rest of the story that carries really well because you're in the mindset of like, okay, I understand why she can't say this thing. Like I understand more what she's feeling and what she can't communicate. And also with the character of Shino, I felt like even though she was struggling with the stutter, you could tell that she had a personality and unique things to say and like a unique worldview, and that she was battling with that stutter to get it all out. Mm-hmm. Whereas with Komi, I like was kind of found myself wondering what it is that she was thinking, and like what her personality is like. Whereas with Shino, I feel like even though she's struggling with the stutter, that she has a big personality throughout the manga.
Yeah, like even actually in both manga, both characters of Komi and Shino both kind of write down their thoughts sometimes and kind of what they're trying to say. They write it down on a piece of paper. And even with that, I still don't really get a sense of like Komi as a character.
She is very much like, oh, that was fun, I want to do this, like I liked that. Whereas Shino is like really funny even when she has to use the notepad to communicate, and she gets her emotions across. Yeah. So that's also like another reason why I sometimes feel like Komi is an object for the plot a little bit.
Yeah, like so with this one shot, I do want to say that it's a completely different story, different vibe from what Komi Can't Communicate is. And the point that we're trying to make is that basically, if you are looking for something that delves a little bit deeper and like actually shows a good representation of a character with a communication disorder, I think this is definitely a good read for that, as compared to Komi, which is, like I said, not bad at all. Komi, you just have to go into it knowing that it's really just a wholesome slice of life, you know,
Yes.
and it doesn't really go any deeper than that.
I would definitely recommend, if someone was looking for something wholesome, I would say Komi is great. If you're looking for something that is like more of a realistic take on a communication disorder, which is kind of what I was going in thinking it might be, I would definitely recommend Shino. And it's not as wholesome, but it does feel good in the end. And in the end, I feel like whereas in Komi they're talking about trying to cure her disorder, in Shino she kind of accepts it and like as who she is, and I feel like it's very different.
It's just a different take.
Yeah,
you know?
it's a different take, and I like that the author has like something in the back that kind of explains their own experience with it, and it seems like they took a lot of care in how they represented it.
Yeah. So to end off, like I said, we did just want to give a recommendation of Shino, can't say her name, if you are looking for something that is a little bit more deep when it comes to the whole communication disorder thing. But to finalize our thoughts on Komi Can't Communicate, after the first 3 volumes, like I did say before, I think this one is going to be something that I am personally going to drop. And I think, you as well.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah, unfortunately. But that's not to say it's bad. It just really wasn't for us. And when it comes to the series in general, definitely give your thoughts on Komi Can't Communicate in the comments below if you have read it. And if you've read past volume 3, let us know what you guys think. Does it get any better? Does it get worse? Does it ever explain the whole communication disorder thing? Does the romance get good? Does Tadano get better as a character? These are all questions that we...
Do we need to continue?
Yeah, so like I said, I think I'm definitely going to watch the anime once that comes out to get a better idea. Because I think this could definitely translate a lot better into an anime format for me. So that pretty much does it for this episode of the 3-volume rule. I hope you guys did enjoy it. And thanks again to my girlfriend for being on this video and kind of giving a second perspective on the series. And yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. All of my social media links are also down in the description to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you do enjoy my content, please consider hitting the notification bell so you can get notified every time I upload a brand new video. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Bye.